Hello, everyone, and welcome back to day 2 of the round of 16 weekend here in Corsace Closed 2022. We are back for our second match of the day, featuring Intercambing, our number 3 seed, and Dumii, our number 14 seed in this year's iteration. I am this one guy still. He is Chillier Pear still, and we're going to be bringing you what I think is going to be a very intriguing matchup. What are your thoughts, Mr. Chillier?
You know, I think that this is kind of the battle between new and old in my mind, right? If you've been around in the tournament community, and, you know, we talk about this in commentary all the time, there are those staple players who have been playing team and solo and all these other tournaments for years and years and years. And Dumii is one of those players. He has been in the tournament community for probably as long as most people who have been playing tournaments can remember. Took a little bit of a hiatus for a while from the game, has decided a little bit more recently to come back and play tournaments regularly. Intercambing, little bit of a newer face in the tournament scene. He's been around for a little while now. I'd say, you know, he's starting to hit a couple of years after playing tournaments, but relatively speaking, fairly new compared to his opponent in this match. So I guess what we're looking at in this match is how does someone who has years of tournament experience and years of practicing multiple different skill sets match up against a new tournament player, albeit one of the top-rated tournament players in the community for the past kind of long while here. Intercambing has started to make himself not only a staple of the tournament scene, but, you know, especially the Chilean scene as well. So, you know, and of course Dumii, very similarly to Australia before all these new modern, you know, tournament players came around. It was Dumii. He was the Australian tournament player. So We've got a battle of legends here, I guess.
I like that description. It's really interesting to see, like you said, you know, you kind of have these guys who have been around and have kind of done it all, seen it all. You know, if you look at a major tournament since probably 2017, 2018, like Dumii has been there. And Intercambing, I feel like started to kind of make a name for himself maybe in, what would you say, like Corsace 2020. I really remember, I remember a Chunk. You remember Intercambing on Chunk?
Oh, yes.
That's kind of, you know, and ever since then, he's had this kind of upward trajectory in tournaments and has been playing well. Obviously did quite well in qualifiers, coming out with that 3 seed. Dumii, you know, kind of underperformed a little in qualifiers, I think. I don't know that 14 is necessarily like a true representation of his skill as a player, and, you know, doesn't speak to anything of his years of experience and time spent playing in these tournaments. So I do think that, like I said, this is a lot closer than 3 versus 14 says. And, you know, like you said, the newcomer versus the wily veteran, the veteran Aussie back at his old tricks. You know, we'll see what he's got in store in a match where, unlike the previous one, I don't really feel as though these two have such clearly delineated skill sets that fall, you know, specifically into only one or the other's wheelhouse. I think this is a much more, you know, kind of even matchup in terms of what types of maps they're likely to pick and ban than something like, say, a Badu versus Emrek, where it was very obvious the way that the two would go in terms of picks and bans.
Well, I think that, yeah, I genuinely don't know what these picks and bans are going to look like here right now. I know it says that Dumii has a significant speed skill gap between him and Intercambing, but on, you know, in practicality, Intercambing's pretty strong at speed. So, you know, regardless of how strong Dumii is, those will be slightly more contested picks. Although I do think that will be something that he still looks to pick against Intercambing. I do think that Dumii is still a slightly more proficient speed player across the board, especially in terms of consistency as well. We talk about, you know, the experience really does create consistency in a lot of cases. So I think that being able to use that and to know that you can go into a match and, you know, put up that performance over and over again. And he has successfully scared Intercambing off of double time with the double time 3 ban immediately. It's going to be the Hard Rock 2 ban from Dumii, which is Also very understandable. Intercambing is an insane precision player. That statistic does not do it justice. And DT2 and Nomad 4, little bit interesting. I guess that's purely just based on the fact that Dumii is not a strong tech slider aim player compared to Intercambing, but Intercambing is might not be his best skill set, but it's good enough to scare him off of it, and that's what matters. It's going to be Dumii's first pick to open up the match.
It's going to be a speed map, I think. Yep.
Yeah.
It's going to be Nomad. I mean, your opponent bans out DT2 and DT3. I think you've got to be thinking. Frightened. You've got to be thinking, okay, I go straight speed here, just insta.
He's terrified.
Yeah, this Nomad 5. I mean, it's only round of 16, right? So we're not at the stage where the Nomad 5s are like literally Arison and nobody else can play them. But this is still, it's 240 BPM. It's 3 minutes long. It's got a pretty heavy speed and stamina requirement. And if your opponent looks like they're a little worried about tapping, then this is just you just go right here. You don't think twice about picking this first. And so Zelcu Nomad 5 will be the site of our first pick for this match, and I think it's a pretty good spot for Dumii to be in.
Very good spot. This is one of those Nomad 5s, I think, that I wouldn't quite put it in the category of too easy, but it's so comfortable if you are even a remotely proficient, tapping player, that you'll be very hard pressed to not see anyone who is decent at tapping picking this map if they think they have some sort of advantage over their opponent. And I think Dumii, given how confident he said he has been, with his aim and his tapping in general lately, this was basically a no-brainer for him in this match right now. Intercambing already starting off with slightly worse accuracy, having a little bit of trouble on some of these bursts, getting the timing right. It seems to be that he's tapping just a little bit too late on some of them based on his UR bar. So, we're really going to be looking for accuracy, I think, for a while on this pick here. I don't anticipate any big misses. There is that one section right before the first pause that has caught a couple of players, unfortunately, but we'll see if that happens now. Big drop from Dumii, but a miss from Intercambing.
Yeah, Dumii dropped the act, but maintained the combo, and Intercambing fell off the combo. I mean, it's only just past a quarter of the way through, so it's not like it's at this stage where it's going to be instant death. But that will allow Dumii to take a pretty sizable lead. He has a 0.8% accuracy lead, which would be even bigger if he hadn't dropped those unfortunate hundreds, but not the end of the world. On top of this 500 combo lead. Like you said, I mean, it just looks like Dumii is a bit more comfortable with this BPM and the stamina requirement of this map as Intercambing finds another break and then a chain miss, and that's gonna do it. I think this is actually over now.
Seriously, it's very similar to what we saw, I think, in the previous match between Emmerich and Badu, where it was just, you find one too many chain misses, one too many, extra breaks at the beginning, and before the map is even halfway over, there's just too much there's just the note density is not there to save you. And at this point, it's basically, regardless of whether or not Dumii misses, he's put up half of the possible score on this map already, and if he misses, he's just going to FC everything after that as well, because based on how comfortable he's been so far, plus the 3% accuracy difference. I mean, there is literally everything working in his favor right now, so there's quite literally no way that Dumii lets this pick go now with a quarter of the way map left. Intercambing is basically just playing this out for posterity, I guess, trying to make this match nice and fair and fun and being a good sport about things, as Dumii likes to open up, taking up his first pick here. Intercambing will have the exact same opportunity to have a strong opening pick following this, but well done to Dumii to hold what will look to be the FC into the ending of the map. There's really nothing to break on in the last couple of seconds here unless you buzz slider.
Unless you're Sigi, who missed in like the last 10 combo, I think it was.
Sigi shook so hard.
Yeah, he was very, very nervous. But yeah, I mean, that being said, like, if you're, Intercambing, like, it's not a bad score. You're not going to feel terrible. You had one chain miss, and other than that, you played the map fine, and it was your opponent's first pick. So, like, this isn't going to put you into a bad mental state by any means. I mean, it's a very, very solid score from Dumii. But it's not one that Intercambing is going to be like, crap, that's the entire match done right there. I mean, 17 misses, but like, how many of those were literally in a row, and now if you're Intercambing, you get your own choice of first pick of, maybe something that's quite, as favored to you going in on paper as this was to Dumii going in, which I think might be something from Hidden Pool. I feel like I would not be surprised to see, maybe like a Hidden 3 here that could be somewhere that Intercambing chooses to go. I feel like I don't have a good grasp on like kind of his particular skill set as far as what to expect him to pick. Obviously banning out 2 speed maps, but like other than that, yeah, like I mean, we've yet to see really much in the way of aim picks in this in the matches we've seen so far, other than Hidden 1. I guess you can count Hidden 1. But other than that, it's been a lot more about the tapping mechanics and, you know, kind of some of these gimmick maps. We really have not seen much aim being picked. You know, we've yet to see Hard Rock 1 picked at all. We've yet to see Nomad 1 picked at all. I think we've seen DT 1 picked 1 time. So maybe more kind of gimmick type of picks coming in this one as well. And there's the Nomad 6. So, you know, will we get a repeat of Badu versus Emrek? I would like to see a repeat of Badu versus Emrek on this.
That would be very cool to see on here. You know, normally you think of Dumii, you don't really think of his super strengths on Nomad 6, but certainly a pick that he has, you know, played many a time before, and is not the worst at Nomad 6 style maps here either. So I think we do have a little bit of potential for some contention on this, but given how good Intercambing is at this style of map, I question it purely on that basis. The fact that Intercambing just picked Nomad 6 before Hidden 1, which is kind of insane, because Hidden 1 is normally just the Intercambing pick at the opening of matches. So I think that this is probably something that Intercambing knows. He's like, listen, I'm down a point. I lost the first pick on his own. I'm going to go right back into it with the Nomad 6. This is something I know I can put up a winning score on, and I think that's just what Intercambing is going to rely on right now. And it's a good thing to start off with in this match. You know, you don't want to let yourself fall behind too early. Obviously, he has found a very early break, which is kind of unfortunate, you know, to see. But with a shorter pick like this, there is still opportunity for breaks, still pre-halfway.
The downside of that being that, like, we're already halfway through because this map is pretty short. It's under 2 minutes long. So, you know, a break, even in the first 200 combo, is a little more of a downfall. And there's another miss that I think might have been a slider break.
Oh,
I saw the 50 pop up in there. And that's not starting things off well if you're Intercambing with your first pick going this poorly for you. Dumii still holding the 99 AC FC. The guy is just good at tapping stuff, and this is not a super aim intensive. It's more of, you know, kind of that micro aim where you're, you know, you have some, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, the stream patterns require a little bit of aim, but not in like a jump aim sense, obviously. Dumii just looking pretty clean on this pick. Yeah, I mean, this is since that I think that second miss from Intercambing kind of ended this.
That definitely did. Well, yeah,
it's an unfortunate. It's an unfortunate result of the first pick from Intercambing for him. But Dumii gets slidered at the end. There's no way that was there's no way that was a sight read though, right? Like the only way you would miss that slider is if you were on your sight read.
He missed after it looked like too. Maybe he missed the notes after the slider. Let me
yeah, well, it was a 2 miss and a slider break, I think, all in that slider, and then the 2 notes after. I don't know.
He missed the first note. Oh, he missed the first note before the slider, and then I think he note locked the slider head. That must have been it. Because I saw a little shake, so I wonder if he note locked after he missed the first note.
Oh, okay. Well, be that as it may, it's a comfortable win for Dumii after on the back of 2 slider breaks from Intercambing. I mean, it's an S rank, which is cool, but unfortunately, a map like that, you know, S equals FC does not really mean that you you end up winning it. And Dumii looking good on those first 2 picks. So
yeah, very good.
We'll see what he goes into next. I mean, I don't know that you go Nomad 2 if you're still really trying to focus tapping stuff. DT1 is basically entirely aim, but he's going to go that way anyway. So this is going to close out the DT pool after the 2 bans from Intercambing. So we're going to go Senpai. It's just pretty aim-focused 10.3 pick. Dumii liking the feel of the higher BPM and DTs in this pool compared to his opponent.
Oh, we mentioned how strong he was on these DT picks, these faster, you know, maps. This is kind of what Dumii has just been good at for a long time now.
A long time, yeah.
Yeah, so I think
he's been smart direction. He's been farming lately too, and I say that in the sense that like a DT1 is going to be comfortable for him because he's been playing like some DT1 like stuff. Set a couple of top plays recently on, you know, kind of aim heavy picks like this. So we'll see how it goes for him. Intercambing is no slouch when it comes to DT1s, much like many players at this tier of play. So I think this one could be pretty close, but with it being a little more aim focused, I think it's one of those maps where you can kind of miss just about anywhere if you're not perfectly comfortable.
I think Dumii, in most cases, may have avoided this pick until slightly later in the match, because I do think this is something that Intercambing may have chosen to pick later on, but I wonder if in the back of his mind he knows that Intercambing is not too consistent today. He's finding a couple little slider breaks and misses, here and there that, you don't always see from him, and I think, if Dumii is feeling, nice and comfortable and consistent today, there's no reason he doesn't pick this against an Intercambing who's very clearly not playing at, top level for, what we've seen out of him in previous tournaments. So I think that this is basically just Dumii saying, let me get this out of the way now. If I'm playing better early on in this match, I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to get as many points as I can. It's going to be basically exact same at the
It's dead even.
Yeah,
they have identical
points.
hack. The score is just going to flicker. That's scary. That's
terrifying.
This is feeling like it's legitimately, it could just be whoever misses instantly loses the pick because the other guy is going to FC. That's really it's really freaking scary for anyone to be in that spot. Oh, do we miss taps?
Oh,
I don't know what happened there, if he mistapped that triple or what. But that is going to be Intercambing taking it over, and now he just probably wins.
Yeah, honestly, maybe another 10 seconds of holding, and there's just no way Dumii is going to be able to recover enough score. He's already 100,000 in the lead, and just that, he's finding a couple more misses here. So unfortunately, that first miss didn't really matter. He's going to have another one right there, and that is just going to be an Intercambing showing off that he is still very, very much in the game here. He is ready to go in this match. You're going to get his first point on the board on the back of a break point, and again, I do think Intercambing should really start to look at the hidden pool now. I think that's the place where he is going to find a lot of comfortable picks. Again, mentioned earlier, it was okay for him to go with Nomad 6 earlier. I thought that was something that rather he would have picked because he was so much more confident on it than he ever thought Dumii could play. But unfortunately, he wasn't too confident on it. And now I think is the time where he starts to gain a little bit of that back. Looks like he found a very, very...
He missed the second to last note.
Yeah,
he missed the second to last note. I thought he missed the last note and it was intentional, like a Rurushi sort of thing, but it was the second to last note.
Tragedy, if I've ever seen one. But yeah, again, I think he probably goes back to the hidden pool now. I think that would be the smartest direction for him to maybe look for here. I don't know if the Hard Rock pool would be the strongest place, although that precision ban from Dumii does kind of scream that Intercambing may be slightly advantaged there.
And it's going to be Hard Rock 1. It's Hard Rock 1.
It's Hard Rock 1.
So we do get Hard Rock pool, and we do get aim, and we get this for the first time. This will be the debut of Thank You for the Venom by My Chemical Romance Hard Rock 1 in this round 16 pool. We have not seen it picked yet in the first several matches played. Intercambing saying, I'm going to go Hard Rock, I'm going to go aim because I just won an aim DT, and let's stick with that skill set because clearly that's what's working, and I think that might be the direction. After this, he can go like Hidden 1 with his next pick, depending on how this goes. Obviously, Nomad 1 is one of those picks that's always up in the air, but would still be available. So let's see. Let's see how our Hard Rock 1 goes first, but those are picks that maybe this opens up a little bit.
Definitely. Again, I think we talked about, mentioned at the beginning, Intercambing is a very strong aim player, but I think his aim lies in some of the more difficult, based aim maps. I think, you find something like Nomad 1, it's consistency oriented, it's very comfortable for a lot of players. And I think that's the type of aim that I think Intercambing wants to avoid against Dumii. I think Dumii is exceptional in his mechanical skill, and I think that is the problem that Intercambing is having right now, is that all of the usual picks, because Intercambing is also a mechanics player in a lot of senses. He's very good at that type of map. Obviously, he's got some skill strength in the reading and gimmick stuff, but it really is the mechanics is where he is stronger than most players. And when you're put up against a player who's as equally strong at mechanics as you are, it makes it very difficult to just jump in immediately and pick a lot of those maps because they're contested. And in the back of your mind, it sits there, I'm going to have to FC this or near FC this to win the pick. And Dumii finds in this, however.
That's great from Dumii. And all that being said, talking about the mechanics, if you are simply having a better mechanics skill day on a given match day than your opponent, I think it gives you a little bit more confidence in those mechanics picks. He just won the DT1, which is a lot of aim, you know, with those few triples thrown in. He is leading the Hard Rock one, which again, a lot of aim with a couple of streams, pretty much a raw mechanics map. So if Intercambing can build up his confidence in these, you know, kind of base mechanics picks, despite knowing how good Dumii is at them, I think they might feel a little bit better to pick than they might otherwise. Normally, you'd feel like this wasn't a great spot to go to, but if you're on a day where you're not missing on aim and your opponent is, why not? And it's looking ever more like this might end up being the 2-2, you know, consolidating the re-break to tie it up, but there is a break from Intercambing, so that will mean that we're back on level footing and Dumii with a big combo lead to try and scratch away some of this gap.
Yeah, it could maybe bring that consistency back. You know, the one misses on maps like Hard Rock 1 here are certainly just as possible as, you know, you see something on Nomad 1. Just an unfortunate misaim. And, you know, they're not always something that appear more than once. So that was, you know, that one miss from Dumii, you know, a couple combo into the map there, a couple hundred combo in, was something that he really needed to capitalize on. And unfortunately, where he missed is a very inopportune position. If Dumii holds through the stream, he doesn't. Oh, God, he struggled on that so bad. Yeah. Wow.
It's like he fell off that stream timing a little bit and then just didn't hit the last note there, and another break right after. Ugh. This feels rough. Any time, I feel like nothing feels worse in Osu, to me at least, than missing on aim, because it just feels like you did something wrong, because it's such a base mechanic, you know, that it's just not a good feeling. And doing kind of back-to-back maps, you're missing several times on the DT1, missing a couple times on not a whole lot in the Hard Rock one. It's not going to feel great for that skill set for him, unfortunately. And Intercambing just kind of keeping on. Back up to a near 500 combo to close out the map here pretty comfortably.
Yeah, he's kind of doing what I mentioned that Dumii had a chance to do earlier. You know, you find maps like the Hard Rock one, the Nomad ones, and you get that one miss, maybe a two miss on the more difficult maps, and then, you know, you recover, you combo through the rest of the map, and that's exactly what Intercambing did there. Unfortunately, Dumii had a little bit more of a blunder on that stream section. I think he was more so thrown off on the jumps after the stream than anything, and I think that's, you know, really where he had some struggle. That would have been a difficult pick for Dumii to win. He probably would have had to FC the ending of the map regardless. The accuracy difference between the two players is just so massive, you know, given the hundreds that he dropped on that one stream, that you know, almost 200,000 score difference between the two of them would have been very difficult for him to, you know, bring back. Again, I think he would have had to combo the ending. So regardless of whether or not he looked pretty good there, I think that would have been something that he had to be careful about. But it is going to go back to his pick now. Intercambing has gotten the breakpoint. He has consolidated the breakpoint, and he has made this a very close match indeed. It is 2-2. Dumii going to try and get things back on track now. You know, Intercambing, again, he recovered from the deficit. Dumii going to take the chance with the Nomad 2. He's going to go back to tapping. He's going to go back to what he knows he's confident in. And I think this is a good pick for him, although slightly aim-oriented Nomad 2 here. You really got to watch the cursor control, the flow aim on this. Not a dense stream map by any means, and Knowledge King is not known for making dense stream maps. Stamina intensive while still requiring you to very much keep track of where your cursor is. There is a lot of opportunities for you just to find a simple over-aim, under-aim on these patterns. And it has lost picks. This has been a very contested map across multiple matches in this pool. A lot of people seem to be very comfortable on this that are good at the tapping skill set. So we'll see how it goes between these two players. Dumii seems to be a little bit more comfortable on the tapping maps thus far, but Intercambing has improved how he's been playing over the past two maps.
Yeah, and this is not outside of many of these players' comfort zones, with one very obvious exception. 200 BPM and under 3 minutes in total length. It's something that pretty much anyone in this, you know, tournament should be more or less comfortable with playing. Like you said, the flow aim requirement, kind of
God.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Sorry.
Yikes.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
I was gonna say
miss.
the flow aim requirement, where you kind of have these speed up, slow down streams where they'll go, you know, smaller spacing into bigger spacing. And
Oh my god. Both of them are just not having a good time.
I don't know what's happening here. In every previous match where we've seen this map played, we've seen like multiple FCs. We've seen, I think, like we've seen 2 SSs on this map, for heaven's sake. I don't actually know what's happening currently, but
just who finds more misses.
Yeah, they're actually like on level playing field here. The AK is in Dumii's favor by like 0.9%. The combo is in Intercambing's favor by a negligible margin, the score likewise. And so we're going to see who can avoid doing what they did in the first half of the map here in the second half, where the stamina continues to be very draining and the aim continues to be pretty challenging.
Well, maybe they'll find some recoveries towards the ending here. You do get very stamina intensive towards the latter half of this map, though. The streams get a lot longer. They get more, just continuous over and over again. And maybe that'll be a little bit more comfortable for these players here. It is easy to kind of mess up your cursor velocity whenever you're just having to start and stop new streams periodically. It gets a lot easier when you can just fall into a groove and just hold your tapping for a little while. And I think, that's where they're going to be slightly more comfortable at the ending, barring any more unfortunate misses on some of these basics. But this is what we were talking about. It's a very aim-intensive stream map. You've really got to be careful about where you're putting your cursor on a pick like this, and both players have proven it to us exactly what that means on this map. And as we come into the final couple streams here, Dumii's going to find him slight over him at the end of a stream, and that's going to give the pick away.
Man, that was unfortunate too, because this was balanced on a knife's edge. The accuracy so similar, the combo so similar, and Dumii with just that ever so slight miss-aim is going to give the point right on over to Intercambing, who does find a nice little change there at the ending, but he was in a spot where it didn't matter, fortunately. Boy, those are not
rough
great scores. That's a rough go of things for these guys, but I mean, the combo's notwithstanding, but Intercambing just kind of clawing his way to the top on that pick, and that's back-to-back break points for him, and now a 3-2 lead going into his own selection, which means he can consolidate not just the re-break, but the break to go ahead, which would give him a 4-2 lead. Where, and we're still kind of waiting, do we see another Hard Rock pick after how well Hard Rock 1 went for him, or do we finally see him opening up the hidden pool that we've kind of talked about and expected since early on in the match?
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing well for himself, despite the fact that he hasn't really had to tap into the hidden pool yet. He has been making this match work at the ending, and he is finally going to go in for the hidden 3. I think that makes a lot of sense, the hypersonic ban from Dumii and the fact that, he's kind of the type of player that just avoids hidden when possible. It's not that he can't play it, he just doesn't choose to pick it. Or he chooses not to pick it, rather. So I think, Intercambing being a fairly proficient hidden player and being pretty good at these flow aim style hidden picks as well is something that I think he, put off for a little bit longer than he could have, but it's just as fine. He's been doing well for himself on the picks thus far, and I think that, based on how we've seen him playing over the past couple of maps and how many improvements he's made across, from the first 2 picks here, this should be a very good time for Intercambing. Dumii had a little bit more trouble with the sliders earlier. Of course, again, that Nomad 4 ban does make me think that he is just not quite as comfortable as he's going to need to be on this pick. But you never know. They're both playing pretty well now. Besides that last pick. We're going to ignore
Besides that last pick.
Besides the money.
Just gotta look out for the those little triples, the space triples in the first kind of section of this map. Those can get you. We've seen it happen in previous times that this map has been played. Like those guys right there, the linear triples are easy enough to miss on. And then, like you said, you kind of get that flow aim requirement in this one that Intercambing is so known for. But, and with, I guess I should say, with having won the Nomad 2 as well, maybe feeling like his flow style aim is a little stronger at the moment. Right now, though, again, very, very even, very similar accuracy, identical combo. Intercambing gonna find a break on the stream, and Dumii now takes a lead. Will we see a runaway? Can he hold this combo for long enough to build up a big lead? It's gonna get very interesting very quickly here.
Well, it's going to be a decent... I mean, if he's hit everything thus far, there's really not too much to break on in these... Oh, God, over-aim.
Oh. What was that? About not much to miss on?
Nothing. There's not much to miss on. He just... that was on purpose. He was getting nervous, so he had to
He wanted to make it more interesting for the viewers by artificially making the score closer.
He wants to have Intercambing get to match point, so he gets that adrenaline boost to bring it to tiebreaker. That's exactly the strategy he's employing right now, and I like it. I like it. It's an alpha strat.
the Chad go down match point and then reverse sweep versus the Virgin win 6-0.
Oh, goodness. Well,
that's a pretty sizable combo lead here for Intercambing, though. He's in a pretty good spot going into the last third of the match to try and bring the score back.
This is a hard section, though.
It's so tough. All right, these players do not agree with you. This is difficult. Apparently, this is just very easy for them. They're having no trouble
difficult.
at all.
They're just amazing. They're just outstanding players.
They're quite good at the video game. And lead goes over to Intercambing. He is not out of the woods yet, though, because he has to keep holding. Any break here from either player will pretty much mean the map is instantly over. But they're just going to continue to both combo.
It's going to start to wind down soon, though. Yeah, this is really just going to lose momentum. The note density is not going to be there at the ending, even if Intercambing finds a break. Oh, they both made it through that section, and that section, and that section.
They hit all of them. They hit all of them. They hit 6 out of 6 cut streams between the two of them in that section. That's nuts. And it comes out to a 60K win. I mean, that's close, man.
That was just positioning of misses.
Yeah, Dumii really poorly timed, unfortunately, that multiple break on that one, like one section in the middle.
Yeah.
And Intercambing, 4 points on the trot. And is now 2 points away from the finish line.
He's got some wiggle room here. I think Intercambing is definitely going to try and, give this a little bit of time to see. Well, what we've got God-ish now, so
let's go.
It's going to be the banger of the pool.
This is my favorite song in the pool.
Question mark difficulty. Question mark difficulty.
There's a question mark difficulty, there's an exclamation mark difficulty, there's also an X difficulty in various sets of this map.
Osu diff names are either just single characters or paragraphs.
Okay, this diff name compared to some of the diff names that I've seen for maps that I asked them to change the diff names for future rounds, it's fine.
If you want to see some interesting diff names, I want everyone to go check out Jazag's profile, bro. He's got some crazy diff names.
So this is like a double FC type map if the players don't have any unfortunate incidents with their hardware. So we'll see how they perform, because I think this is a pretty comfortable map. Yeah, they're both good at this type of stuff. I'm pretty sure Dumii all single taps this, right? Dumii just straight single taps this.
This is pretty slow for him, honestly. I think for a lot of speed players, this map would be pretty comfortable. I think it will get slightly stamina draining as we get into the key eyes, because it's just repeated over and over again, no pauses. But we'll see how. I mean, if he's able to pull out an FC on this by single tapping, you can color me impressed, because that would be something we do not see very often. This is not like the slowest of alt maps that you single tap as well. This is like starting to get to like actual alt range for most players.
He's still just single tapping. He's single tapping the entire key eyes. He's single tapping the entire key eyes. He's built diff.
He has not dropped 100. He has not dropped 100. He's still single tapping. There's no. I just don't.
This is Chad single tap energy right now.
I don't get this. I don't get it.
I don't know.
He should just win by default, because Intercambing dropped 100 first.
Oh, he dropped 100 though. He dropped a later 100, which actually means Intercambing. Which actually means Intercambing will take the lead, because Dumi's 100 was later.
Oh, no! He missed one note. He didn't tap one note.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, Intercambing still has to hold. We're only halfway through. There's a decent amount of time left. It's not over yet.
Decent amount of time left.
That's really tragic.
Lose score so fast. Oh, he broke on the buzz slider. I think he tapped. I think what happened is he tapped the buzz slider, and then he lifted his finger up as if there was another note, and I think he just let go of it, and it broke him. Oh no, that's just...
Dumii mental is now in tatters.
Yeah, that's not
really
gonna be
a shame.
That's 2 maps in a row that you're basically losing to just an unfortunate circumstance. Like, that is not fun.
Intercambing is still doing a great job, though, holding the FC with 99 point, almost 7 AC. Like,
yeah, great.
Really good stuff from Intercambing. Absolutely cannot fault him at all here.
Yeah, not at all. I'm just more impressed by Dumii single tapping. Sorry, Intercambing. Nothing against you. I just prefer this method. This is really cool to watch, honestly, regardless of the slider break. Still very cool to watch. He would lose the pick regardless. The accuracy is just not there. Intercambing is just slightly more comfortable, given alting this is going to make this infinitely more comfortable. I mean, the strain when single tapping this, regardless of how comfortable you are, is so high. And Intercambing, being the player that he is and the proficient alt player that he is, especially at maps like this, is going to put on the performance that we expect to see from him. And he is going to grab point number 5 on Dumii's pick. Dumii will remain at the 2 points he's had from the beginning of the match, as Intercambing will advance to match point on his own pick.
What a shame for Dumii the way this match has gone. He opened up so well in those first couple of picks, and it's just been all Intercambing all the time since then. He has kind of just laid down the law. He's always, the couple times that Dumii's broken, he's had a combo, he's had several FCs. Guy is just performing the way you need to win matches in this tournament. And like we said, I mean, Dumii, it's an S rank, right? Like, the score is not great because of where the slider break was, but how often do you put up S ranks and big scores like he's been putting up and still lose the points this badly? That's just what it means to be in this tournament against these level of players. If you miss on a lot of these picks, you just don't have a good time. And so that gets Dumii again. Intercambing, like you said, goes to match point. And it's gonna be on his own pick, and it's got to be hidden one. Like,
yep,
that's yeah. And I unfortunately don't really fancy Dumii's chances on hidden one against Intercambing. The way his aim has looked today, his tapping has looked fine, but his actual aim is not really at the level it needs to be. I don't think right now.
You don't believe that Dumii is a splooger?
I'm not gonna dignify that with a response.
It's the diff name of the song.
I'm aware. I'm still not going to dignify that with a response.
I think Dumii is going to be a splooger. I think this is going to be great. This will be a close pick, I think. I don't know. Dumii, although he's had a rough go of the last couple of maps here, I do think he is still not playing terribly, and he's just had some unfortunate goes, and I think all it's going to take is Intercambing to find one unfortunate break on a map like this for it to go one side or the other. So we'll see. It's a pretty awkward aim pick here, and it's decently high BPM as well, which means Dumii's going to be fairly comfortable still.
Yeah, this is, 228 BPM, which makes it a decent amount higher than either the Nomad or the Hard Rock one, respectively. But the awkward aim is kind of the name of the game here, which is why we've seen some of the dedicated hidden players doing so well on it. I feel like, hidden one players are going to have a good time with this type of mapping. And Intercambing today has had very solid aim and obviously is known as a very solid hidden player. Those linear jumps, man. It scares me every time. I know they're not, like, objectively hard, but linear patterns are just so doomed, I feel.
This is a banger. I love this song. This is great.
Dude, what if double FC? How sick would that be?
That would be so cool.
I don't know how many FCs we've seen on this. I know Malachevsky FC'd it, but...
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen many other than... At least that I can remember off the top of my head.
I think he FC'd 6 maps in a row, though. He lost the first point and then FC'd 6 maps in a row to win. So that guy is just, kind of like on a whole other level of performance. At the moment, though, it's Dumii in the lead due to accuracy. He's got, I think, 2... Is that 2 fewer 100s? 1 or 2?
Yeah, slightly. Yeah, I think it's 1 or 2 right there, so...
Oh, man. Oh, it's going to be another one of these maps. It's going to be another one of these maps where it's just...
I don't like these
dead
maps.
even. It's just dead even 2/3 of the way through.
These
it's
maps
literally
aren't fun.
99.5 versus 99.6. Please don't miss. Nobody miss anywhere. You both need the FC. Because that would be outstanding. Alright, they're listening to me.
Do not miss.
They're listening
Do not
to me.
miss. They're listening to you. I'm not saying anything.
Okay, and
I'm
we're
just going
going
to
in.
continue talking about the song. It's a good song. That's what I'm going to talk about.
It's such a good song.
It's all that matters right now.
Still
all that matters.
so even.
They will
Still
both become
so
song
even?
enjoyers. Both of
They're
you will
dead
become
even.
song
Their
enjoyers.
accuracy is identical.
Intercambing is not a song enjoyer.
And Intercambing misses. Oh, okay, that's it. He just missed on air. Like,
not a
I don't even
song
know how he
enjoyer.
missed on the
It's
note
simple.
that he missed on.
It's simple.
Well, Dumii, 99.6 AC, with the fullest of combinations. Only the fullest of full combos.
I've got to say,
From
Dumii
Dumii?
was a splooger. Dumii was...
And 5x100 FC, tied accuracy because the 1x50 from Intercambing was a slider break, so their accuracy is identical. Their UR is 2 apart. That was just really good from both players, but slightly better from Dumii. And he takes a break point back, and we're at 5-3. Will this be the turnaround? Is this how it happens?
Maybe?
Is this where we get our first tiebreaker of the week?
This would have literally been just a tie if Intercambing hadn't slider broke. So I just don't know. I don't know what to say. What are you thinking right now if you're Dumii on the... Oh, he's going Nomad 1.
Yeah. Well...
He's going Nomad 1.
So he lost DT1, he lost Hard Rock 1, he won Hidden 1. So we have to win Nomad 1, so we just split the 4 1s, right? It's 2-2 on the mod number 1 picks. Like, that's how this has to go.
I'm down for that.
This is another new one. This is first Nomad 1 of the week. 4 minutes long. A lot of aim. And what, 208? 208 beats per minute. And I will say, from having discussed this with at least Dumii, if not Intercambing, Dumii has a quite good score on this in his practice for this match. A quite good score indeed. So we'll see if he can replicate that in the match.
Nope, he cannot.
Okay, he can.
He can come close though. This was very early. That is only about 100 combo down on Intercambing, which on a Nomad 1 is fairly insignificant given the propensity to find misses at the stupidest of places within Nomad 1s on every player ever. So we'll see. I don't know. Intercambing's got the double S right now. Dumii is just not working. He's broken. We broke him. Hopefully he makes a little bit of a recovery on the aim here. Maybe just not super comfortable after the hidden pick. Understandable. It's a completely different type of aim. Very awkward on hidden one. This is consistency, wide angle, straightforward, big jumps. And I think that you've just got to be able to kind of make that switch. And I think it's just taking Dumii a little bit longer to make that switch than Intercambing, who is finding a little bit of an easier time at the beginning. Nope, he's just under-aiming literally everything.
Oh, man.
Goodness.
This is so crazy to me, like, this is the duality of Nomad 1, to be honest. Like, if you FC in practice, there is approximately a 0.0 repeating to 1% chance, like just a whole bunch of zeros with a 1 at the very end, chance of you FCing in a match, because it's just, you are like, okay, it's Nomad 1, it's easy, IFC, and then this happens, and
you think about it, that's it.
Gosh darn shame.
Oh gosh. Well, I mean, Dumii can at least take comfort in knowing that literally unless he double S'd right now, Intercambing would still be winning no matter what.
I don't know that you really feel good about that, though. I don't think that really...
I don't know if you feel good about it, but it's almost
very, very small consolation.
Yeah, but you almost, like, sit there and you're like, oh, my best play wasn't a double S. He just double S'd it. It's not that you feel good about it, it's just like, I couldn't do anything about it. Like, if somebody double S's a Nomad 1, you can't do anything about it. You just have to hope that you spin faster if you double S.
You could have just SS'd it as well. I mean, come on.
True, but double S'ing a Nomad 1 is once in a blue moon.
My favorite Nomad 1 is where you 0x100 1x miss at precisely 2/3 through, and you get 650k.
Why you gotta do me like that? Why you gotta call me out like that? You gotta call me... Oh, what a map slot Nomad 1 is.
Nomad 1 is a very fun
entertainment slot. It's the entertainment slot.
It's the coin flip slot. You know, the gods just flip a coin when Nomad 1 is picked, and you know, one player wins and one player loses. Or is it more like a roll an X-sided die? You roll a 10-sided die, and like whatever it lands on, that's the number. That's like the number of misses that you get, and the number of 100s that you get.
I agree. Oh God, this is Intercambing saw his score.
Yeah, he knows he's doing it.
He knows he has the critical information that he did not need. Oh, yeah, goodness.
You're like happy if you're Intercambing because you know you've already won the pick. So there's no real stress, but there is stress because you're like, oh God, I can SS this and it would look really cool, and all my fans would be like, oh my God, Intercambing, you're so great.
Intercambing, I will make fun of you if you leave. I'm gonna make fun of him. I'm gonna make fun of him now. Intercambing, you're so talented at the game. That's right, I said it.
He is so handsome and so
talented, so brave and talented.
Well,
Dumii is also brave and talented.
Right. Here's a hot take. 99.94 act is more aesthetic than 100.00% act. There, I said
What
it.
about 99.99? What if that happens?
Is that how many notes do you need to have 99.99? Because that's like a big combo with a 1x100 to get a 99.99.
10,000 notes and you drop 100.
That's like a Vilchku moment. Anyway, Intercambing 6-3, loses the first 2 points, wins 6 out of the next 7. FC's Nomad 1 with a nice little 1x100, which matches Dumi's score from practice. So now Dumi's thinking if I'd replicated my practice score, I could have at least tied that. But unfortunately, it was not meant to be.
Unfortunate. Good start for Dumii. Took a pick in the middle of the match there on that hidden 1, which was that was good for him. That was a pick I think we talked about a lot, that Intercambing was, should have been something he grabbed, and he waited to pick it and he lost it. So Dumii creating the closest scoreline we've seen of any match in this weekend thus far. 3-6 is the closest we've seen since Matthew Bartek, which was a 6-2. Everything else has just been 1 point or 0. And that's something to be proud of, to go into the losers bracket on that.
Yeah, it's not the worst thing in the world. He goes down to losers bracket to face, in fact, Bartek, as just mentioned. So we will see. And wait, is this real? We have Chile versus Chile in quarterfinals, Intercambing versus
goodness.
Matty.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, that's kind of funny. I didn't even think about the fact that could happen before.
Yeah, wow.
Dumii versus Bartek is going to be a very interesting matchup as well, so.
Very interesting. But that is not the last match that we have this afternoon. We do have another one coming up. Silas versus Reedcat will be following this match